Hello and welcome to Sunrise Cardcast, your one-stop podcast shop for all things hockey cards. My name is Eric Andrews, also known in the hobby as Hammerhawks. I'm joined by my co-host and fellow hobbyist Aaron Goldstein, better known as Crease Collector. So starting things off for the episode, we recently came across a pretty cool piece of card history on eBay. And I know not something that we typically would spend a whole lot of time talking about, since it's definitely kind of more like an oddball, unique type of thing. But just given the significance of what it is, I think it's definitely worth talking about. So, Aaron, do you want to share what that is and talk a little bit about it?
I do. We're going to share, for those listening, obviously in podcast format, we're going to share the photos of these, but it is pretty cool. So we found on eBay this week, it's quite original. Like if you were to guess any sort of proof or oddball thing about a Gretzky rookie card, this is probably the furthest thing from your mind. So for those wondering what it is a 1979-80 Topps original card back art for Wayne Gretzky's rookie card. So if you own a Gretzky card, or of course you've seen what it looks like at this point, you would turn it over and see there's sort of like a cartooned image on the back. Also the text explaining when Wayne debuted in the WHA at the age of 17. So just nothing crazy to this thing, but just the uniqueness of it is it's unbelievable. It's just, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, I didn't even know something like that would exist. I mean, it makes sense, obviously, especially, the way cards were made back then. And there was definitely more of an artistic flair. Now it would be all, digital and things like that. But yeah, it was just so unique. And so we definitely had to include it along with the laughable price tag of $1,000,000.99 that this guy had it up for. I mean, he couldn't even make it $1,000,000.99 Canadian, to fit the Gretzky theme. But alas, either way, it's a ton of money. And I think this is probably just more of a look what I have kind of piece than an actual serious thing. So yeah, just an amazing piece. And yeah, we just had to share it on the podcast because I'm a big fan of that stuff. And so to see something like that of Wayne's is really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just not something that you see every day, of course. And given the significance of the card that art is on, obviously it's a pretty cool piece, even if it is very obscure, like you were saying, it's just something that you kind of see it, and I think everybody could kind of agree, like, that's pretty cool. So yeah, definitely interesting to see something like that come up. Obviously, like you said, the list price was rather interesting. I think, most people would say it's not $1 million piece by any means. We were kind of talking before the show started, kind of theorizing what we thought it might be worth. And yeah, it's so hard to say with something like this because it's, like I said, it is something that I think everyone would say is really cool. But how many people would really be in the market for something like that too?
Probably small amount.
So yeah, just a very interesting piece. Obviously, really, really cool. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say about it. Is there anything else you want to add, Aaron?
Just about the value portion. I mean, what would your guess be if you were to kind of evaluate this? Like, I would put it, maybe at like something like 10 grand, because I know there is sort of a large Gretzky following, and maybe I'm wrong. Like, I know the market on this would probably be very, very small, but it wouldn't surprise me if someone said this sold for like 10K or something, if a couple of Gretzky collectors really wanted this. Maybe even, multiples of that, like a 10, 20, 30 grand or something like that at its height. But I mean, it's so hard to put a value on something like this. It really is whatever the buyer is willing to pay.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things where you could tell me it would fetch 1,000, I'd believe you. You could tell me 10,000, I'd believe you. You could tell 20,000, I'd believe you. I mean, when we were talking about it before the show started, I said 1,000, you said 10, 20,000. And kind of the more you think about it, it's like, yeah, I could see 10,000 just because of the significance of what it is. And if there was a Gretzky collector out there that just said, that's a really unique piece of history and piece of the most iconic hockey card that there is. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting to think about it. When I was saying 1,000, I was kind of coming at it from the angle of, okay, if I'm going to spend, five or $10,000, would I rather have that, or would I rather have a really clean copy of the Gretzky rookie card itself?
I agree.
So, to me, I would probably just rather have the card. Obviously, it's not as rare or unique of a piece as the original artwork, but it's also just, not that iconic piece either. So, it's kind of an interesting conversation in that regard.
Definitely. I mean, if I was a Gretzky collector and I had to have, multiple copies or different proof versions or whatever it is, maybe Jeffrey has seen this card. If I was that level of a collector and a side note, that wealthy, this would be a piece that I would be like, yeah, like, especially the type of collector I am personally, like I think adding that extra layer to my theoretical Gretzky collection would be something that I would be interested in. I'm sure a few others out there. So yeah, very interesting for sure. If you have any, guesses on value, you want to let us know, just drop a message our way. It's always kind of a fun conversation to talk about. But yeah, we just wanted to, point that really cool auction out. Anyways, moving on to just our mail day section. We don't always have these, but we just wanted to highlight some stuff that we picked up with our collection. So I guess I'll go first. Just a small little ad for the collection, just for the Enroth collection, of course. For those who don't know, it's just a printing plate from 0910 the Cup from OPG Premier. Just a really cool, should I say, autograph printing plate, which is really cool, the black version. So I already have two more of these. So looking for the blue version to kind of finish it off. I've never completed a printing plate rainbow before. I'm kind of close, but I've never actually done it. So close on one or two other sets as well. So we'll see. I mean, 3 down, 1 to go. Who knows what'll happen, but just a cool little pickup for the collection. I've always loved printing plates, especially the ones from the Cup. They're the first, brand to kind of make them look cool, I think. Like I just remember back when the Cup came out and seeing the printing plates, I'm like, they just made it that much more collectible in my mind. So anytime I can pick up a printing plate from the Cup, it's always really cool. So yeah, just a one lone card in today, and that boosts the collection up to 72 one of ones, which is crazy.
Wow. That is pretty awesome. Yeah, I mean,
I know.
obviously any one of one is great, but when it's a really cool piece like that, especially when you already have a couple of the others, that makes it even better. Hopefully you're able to find that fourth and final one. And I definitely feel you there. I have 3 out of 4 plates for I think three or four different cards, I think. At least three, maybe four. So
So I think we're in the same boat, roughly.
yeah.
We're all kind of at the same level, looking to finish off that with one more plates. Hopefully, I'm sure one day one of us would finish, a plate rainbow at some point. I would think, I would
Hopefully.
hope.
Yep, I have for 2 of mine, I have seen the last plate and people have just decided to be difficult about it
That's not good.
and not be cooperative. So who knows if those will ever find their way home or not. I'm not overly optimistic, but we shall see, maybe one day. So yeah, that's obviously a really good pickup for you. For my mail, I have 3 different mail days that I'm just going to share all together here. The first one is kind of more of a little bit of a random type of mail day. Like it definitely makes sense, but they're not things like if I had seen these on eBay or something, I probably would not have bought them. But I saw them on Facebook. Some of you might be familiar with Colin Larrabee. I know that we had done a couple deals in the past, and he had posted up these cards, and they just kind of caught my eye. And so I was like, "Hey, what are you thinking on these?" And we kind of started talking. He was originally, I think, primarily trying to sell them, but would also consider trading them. And so I was like, "Hey, what kind of stuff are you looking for in trade if we were able to do that?" And I just so happened to have something that he was really interested in that I had in my collection that I wouldn't have minded keeping, but it didn't necessarily fit my collection super well either. So it was kind of one of those where it's like, well, if I can get a few cards that I might appreciate a little bit more, why not? Let's do it. And obviously he was really happy with what he got too. So it was a 3-for-1 deal. So there were the 2 cards, the second and third card that I'll show that were kind of like the centerpiece of the package, and then that wasn't quite enough value, so I was looking for like one more thing to kind of push it over the edge. And then he showed me this card, which is really, really cool. It's from 2014-15 in the game Ultimate Memorabilia, a complete jersey gold, numbered 5 out of 7 of Stan Mikita.
Well, that's nice. That's really, really nice. Great
So
card there. I've always loved sort of the complete jersey cards. It's just so cool. It's such a cool concept, and I really like it, especially when In the Game did it. Just super nice. They always like, even though the patch windows are pretty small, it's just Brian Price always found the best swatches to kind of put in there. So just a really awesome card.
Yeah, so this one's kind of interesting because it's actually even though it's branded as in the game on the card, it's actually from 1415, which is right when Leaf took over. So it is technically a Leaf produced card. But yeah, I mean obviously the emblem piece is really, really nice on that from the orange feather, of course. The one thing that kind of annoys me, I try not to focus on it too much, but the bottom quote patch piece is really just a number patch. So that kind of annoys me because it's like, why would you have the number and then just put another number again? So it is what it is. I mean, it's still a cool piece and everything, but just kind of strange that they would do that. But
Maybe the memorabilia was already cut up,
it
and then it
probably
was
was.
kind of mixed in with the letter patches, the number patches, emblem patches, and it was probably just, you know, confused as like an emblem piece or something like that.
Who knows? But yeah, obviously still a really, really cool card. And that emblem piece is definitely, something that makes it worthwhile to have for sure. Just a beautiful piece there. So that was kind of like the quote unquote like throw in to push it over the top to get the deal done. And then the two main cards, the first one is a 2017-2018 Upper Deck Premier Mega Patch, numbered out of 23 of Jonathan Taves.
Gotta love a good mega patch. That's awesome. Can't go wrong with that guy. Oh, amazing set too. I'm so glad they brought back the first off, shout out to Panini who kind of brought back the mega patches. And then once they went away, Upper Deck was like, collectors really like these. Let's do our own version. And then they just continued on with the mega patch set in Premiere. So super cool card. Love the set. Great player.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I first saw Colin's post on Facebook, this one obviously caught my attention, but not quite as much as this next one. So I was originally kind of just targeting this third card, but then as we started talking about a potential trade, then I knew that I would definitely be able to get this Premier Mega Patch as well. So the third and final card as part of this deal, and you kind of provided a nice little segue there. It's not a Panini Prime, but it is from Panini Dominion from I believe 1011, so the first year of these because they ended up being autographed later on, but this first year they were just the patch. So it's a Panini Dominion Peerless Patches out of 25, also of Jonathan Taves.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, autographed or not, I kind of like that version. Like that design looks really nice. Man, Dominion made some great cards. Like there was so many nice cards coming out of that product. Shout out to Panini again for making that. Just such a cool brand. All their sets looked awesome. Yeah, I wish we could have seen more of them. Yeah, just so many good sets in there. Like it's amazing, and that's one there too. It's just so nice. It's kind of their version of like, the limited logos type thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, right when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's a really nice card. That was a really popular set. Obviously, a really nice four-color patch from the Tomahawk logo. And I was a huge fan of those Winter Classic jerseys. And then they later became their alternate jersey. And I really liked the alternate jersey version because they actually then added the tomahawks on the shoulders as well. Whereas for the Winter Classic, they did not have the tomahawks on the shoulders. So I actually really like that version of the jersey more. But yeah, it kind of checked all the boxes. I mean, obviously, yeah, having an autograph would have been cool, but it's hard to not really, really enjoy and like a card like that with a really clean design, a good photo, nice, big, colorful patch from high-end product. So yeah, like I said, three cards that I typically wouldn't necessarily go out of my way to acquire, but once you see them and once you have them in hand, they're just awesome cards. So definitely glad that that worked out. And Colin, again, thank you for the trade. A pleasure as always. So on to the second part of my mail day show and tell. This one comes from a guy named Shane Roberts, who is Brooklyn 42 fan on eBay. His email address, in case anyone wants to get a hold of him, is guitarguy50@twc.com. And he collects Alex Ovechkin cards, Mickey Mantle cards, and Michael Jordan cards. So if you guys have any really nice stuff of any of those guys, please feel free to reach out to Shane. Just let him know that you talked to me and yeah, that you just wanted to touch base with him about that. But some of you might remember, and I know Aaron will, of course, from our last episode, the national recap episode, that I had got the Alex Ovechkin McGray Group jersey tag from Leaf Art of Hockey, and was kind of, just talking about that card with Josh Packham, a good friend of the show. This was probably a few days after the national, and he was saying, "Oh, like that's really cool, but like, how cool would it be if you could find the other half of that tag?" So I was like, yeah, that would be pretty cool. I wonder, if they used it in the same set, if they, still have it, if they haven't done anything with it, who knows? So I did an eBay search, and sure enough, the other half of the tag had already been listed and had already sold. So I was like, okay, like it's out there, that's cool. At least we're aware of it, no big deal. And then just for the heck of it, I messaged the seller and was like, "Hey, are you willing to tell me who has this?" And they did, and it was Shane, and one thing led to another, and he was willing to let the first half of the tag go. So I now have the completed tag put back together.
Well, that's pretty cool. That's awesome. I've always liked those memorabilia pieces there, especially to put, two and two together like that. That is awesome. Very
Yes.
nice.
Yeah.
Hey, that's awesome, especially Ovechkin, very cool. Those
Yeah.
cards will be extra cool once he breaks Gretzky's goal record, which will be
Indeed.
weird to see, but I think he'll do it. I think he'll play until he can't play anymore, until he gets it.
Yes, I
But
agree.
anyway,
I agree.
I know it's
So,
kind of been a debate of will he or won't he. I think it's only a matter of
oh, I
time at this
think, yeah,
point.
I think he will. I think there's no doubt. Assuming he stays healthy, I think he'll do it. But yeah, so I mean, like I was saying earlier about Shane, he's an Ovechkin collector. So he had already bought this card. He collects Ovechkin. And, here I come out of nowhere saying, "Hey, would you be willing to let it go?" And he was just phenomenal about it, and, was very willing to work something out, knowing that, and kind of knowing the context that it would be reunited with the other half of the tag, and know that, I wasn't just getting it to turn around and flip it and sell it and make money. I assured him that they'd be staying together and they'd be in my collection. So, knowing that, he was very willing to work something out. And he was even just great about the actual deal itself, pretty much just saying, well, just like give me what I paid for it and you can have it. So yeah, I mean, just a overall great guy to work with, and super, super easy deal. And definitely grateful that he was willing to do that, because obviously having them back together again is really, really cool. And definitely, if you had told me a month ago that that would be the case, I would be like, why would I have these cards? But they're just really, really, really cool together. So yeah, definitely grateful that that worked out. And again, shout out to Josh Packham for the idea of, hey, I wonder if the other half is out there, because I would not have even thought of that. So yeah, shout out to Josh, because without his idea, that would not have happened either. So
That's awesome. I mean, it's funny. This hobby is weird sometimes. Like sometimes, you're looking for a card or, another version of the card, another copy, what have you, and it could take years, if ever. And then sometimes in this hobby, things happen super fast. Cards that you never really thought you would see, or cards you didn't even know that you would want in your collection. It just sometimes things like that come together so fast. I'm sure we all have those stories, or maybe you've had one recently. But yeah, just super cool. So those events are awesome, and glad you can get them both.
yeah, absolutely. So this last one is going to take a bit of a step up. Not that the other ones weren't nice, they definitely are, but this one is in a whole other league of its own. So kind of in somewhat traditional fashion for the podcast, Aaron does not know anything about this, and I will just show him the card, and then he can tell you guys what exactly he is looking at.
Okay. So I guess it was a surprise, but I guess I'm not surprised seeing this card. So for those on audio, and you'll see a picture of it, sure, eventually, but you're looking at another historical relics jumbo pack of George Vezina. I mean, amazing. From, of course, the Vezina collection by President's Choice. So that is just amazing. Such a cool memorabilia piece. Just a nice, like, face of the pad with a nice stitch almost down the middle. Just so nice. That's awesome. Like that is so cool. Super jealous. Always wanted one of those jumbo ones. Yeah, really amazing. Great job. I'm
Thank you.
surprised, but also not surprised. Like if you didn't hide this from me and told me, I'd be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But even though you hid this from me, you kind of surprised me, but kind of didn't. But nice pickup though. That's awesome.
Thank you. I have to give a shout out to Derek, who's Bure Buyer on Hobby Insider. He had pulled that card back at release, and one thing kind of led to another, and he was willing to let it go, and we figured something out that worked for both of us. And yeah, obviously, with my goal of trying to put together that whole historical relic set, I would say the jumbo pad is probably, I mean, short of like the buckle, of course, but might be about as desirable as any of the other ones just because of the sheer size of the piece. I mean, it's just massive, compared to really any other, Vesna pad card out there. There are other, pretty sizable pieces, similar to kind of like what the Ovechkin tag is like, but just as far as like the square inches used on a card. I think this is pretty much as big as it has ever been for a Vesna pad card. So yeah, that's why they really do not change hands hardly at all. I think there's only maybe been one other that has, at least publicly. And yeah, so I mean the fact that he is willing to let it go and kind of understood my goal and trying to do the set one day, and that being the most significant one that I still needed outside of the buckle, of course. To be able to cross that one off the list is, very, very meaningful and special for me for sure.
That's awesome. What will you do next? I don't know. I mean, in the podcast, I know what you can do next, but in terms of like what you're gonna get, I don't know. Like you're always surprising me. Me, like it's pretty cut and dry what I'm gonna pick up and stuff for the most part. But for you, it's like I don't know what you're gonna come up with next. It's always something different.
Got to keep you on your toes. So, yeah, at this point I have 7 of the 9 historical relic cards. I just need the cane, which I have a buddy who actually has one and has it set aside for me. So that's always kind of just been a matter of when compared to a matter of if. So I've never really fretted too much about the cane, just knowing in the back of my mind that that one will always be there for me down the road. So just kind of whenever we get around to doing it, great. So I've never really gone out of my way looking for one, just knowing that. But so that's one, and then obviously the buckle is the other. And I don't expect to ever get that card just because both of them are locked away in collections already. So, if I only have the 8 of the 9 historical relic cards, that's still a pretty darn good accomplishment, I would say. So yeah, getting that jumbo pad was obviously a huge weight off the shoulders for sure. And yeah, I mean it's truly a piece of history and something that I'm honored to own for sure. So that'll do it for our mail segment. And for the rest of the episode, we have Paul from Upper Deck to thank because he just sent us a package the other day, including 2023-24 Upper Deck MVP and 21-22 Upper Deck Stature. So obviously MVP is awesome because it is the first chances for Connor Bedard NHL cards, with those being the first overall draft pick redemption and the Central Division rookie redemption. So those are kind of like the two things that you're really looking for. Obviously, there's also a gold parallel, the first overall pick card. All 3 of those cards are pretty tough to get. I believe the rookie redemption packs, the divisional ones, are 1 in 400 packs, which doesn't sound crazy long of odds, but then you have to remember there are 4 different divisions. So it's really 1 in 1,600 to get the Central Division redemption. And then for the first overall pick redemption, the standard one is 1 in 1,250 packs, and the gold is 10 times harder at 1 in 12,500 packs. So they are attainable. Somebody has to pull them. But if you're opening a box which has 20 packs, don't expect to get one. So, but yeah, I mean, obviously it's been a product that has generated a lot of buzz so far just because of those cards, and people are really excited for that first chance at Bedard rookie cards. So yeah, I'm looking forward to busting into this and we'll rip through it here. And of course, I know Aaron will appreciate this. Of course, it has Austin Matthews on the box, who just signed a new extension with the Leafs. And of course, being the first product of a new season is always very exciting too. So here we go. First pack, 20 packs per box. Like I said, I'm obviously not expecting to get any redemption card, let alone one of the Bedard ones. But Jacob Slavin is in the set, so if I can even come away with his base card, I will be happy, let alone any parallel or anything like that. So first pack, we've got a Stars of the Rink of Dylan Larkin. Nice looking card there. Pack number 2, we have got a 0304 Retro MVP Talent, Kale McCarr. It's also kind of funny now that we're getting into the territory where 0304 are the retro, throwback designs and everything. And being an 0304 guy myself, it is a little strange to think that now those are all the throwback designs and everything. But
Definitely puts things into perspective, which is weird. And I feel really old. Like I remember like opening the old MVP cards and just being, like blown away. I thought they were really cool, especially the scripts and things like that. And then you see some of those designs as retro cards. It scares me a little, but fun.
yeah, I mean, I remember that design very well. Back at the time, I remember opening packs of 0304 MVP and pulling some of those cards. On to pack 3, we have an MVP talent of Jack Hughes. On to pack 4, got another MVP talent for the Washington Capitals, Alex Ovechkin. So 3 of these retros in the first 4 packs. Kind of interesting. But obviously the Ovechkin is a nice one to get. Same with McCarr and Hughes. All 3 are really, really good names there. On to pack number 5. There we go. We've got a base card for the Carolina Hurricanes, Jacob Slavin. Love that. And I'm also not going to make note of all the Ice Battles cards just because they are in every pack and yeah, just not overly interesting to me. But in our insert of the pack, an alternate threads for the New Jersey Devils of Jack Hughes, Dougie Hamilton, and Vitek Vanacek. I really like these cards. I think they're it's a cool idea, to showcase those reverse retro jerseys. And behind the players kind of has like a jersey material type of design in the background too, which is cool. And then obviously the rainbow foil out design is a really nice look as well. So yeah, definitely a fan of those cards for sure. And Slavin is on the Carolina Hurricanes one actually. So that's something for me to keep an eye out for as well. I haven't gotten around to picking one up yet, or the gold parallel for that matter, but yeah, definitely one that I will get around to adding to my collection for sure. So on to pack number 6. We've got an Ice Reps for the Boston Bruins, Patrice Bergeron and Blades. Obviously, mascot cards are, pretty collected, especially among younger collectors and fans. So, obviously putting mascot cards in a product like MVP makes a lot of sense. And it's really good to see that Upper Deck has been catering to that, segment of the collector base for sure. So that's cool. On to pack number 7. We have another Ice Reps, this one for the Pittsburgh Penguins of Sidney Crosby and Iceberg. And the pack number 8. Looks like we have a lot of these inserts kind of all stacked together. First, we have our first rookie card for the Toronto Maple Leafs, Matthew Nyes. It's obviously a good one to get. And
Oh, no doubt. I mean, us Leaf fans are super excited about that guy. So awesome.
And we have another Ice Reps for the Florida Panthers, Alex Barkov and Stanley C. Panther. We have an MVP talent for the Detroit Red Wings, Lucas Raymond. And the pack number 10. So this is the halfway point. Still looking for our box hit as well, which can be an auto, a numbered parallel, one of the gold parallels of the Stars at the Rink, or the alternate threads, any of those. And then the redemptions as well count as the box hit. So you get one box hit per box, obviously. We have a rookie of Levi Merilainen for the Ottawa Senators to go along with his Ice Battles as well. Kind of funny. And then we have an alternate threads for the Flyers of Travis Konechny, Travis Sanheim, and Carter Hart. At number 11. Looks like this is our box hit here. It's one of the 20th anniversary gold scripts. First, we have potentially the best rookie card of the carryover crop for the Buffalo Sabres, Devin Levi.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
And our MVP talent gold script for the Los Angeles Kings, Anze Kopitar.
Nice. Not a bad hit there either. There we go.
So hopefully we can beat the odds and there is a redemption still to come, but that does not necessarily bode well. So we shall see. On to pack number 12. Got our first silver script of the box for the Winnipeg Jets, Kyle Connor. On to pack number 13. We've got a rookie for the Calgary Flames, Jacob Peltier, and we have an Ice Reps Gold for the Toronto Maple Leafs, John Tavares and Carlton.
I like that. And Carlton.
Pack 14. We have got a silver script for the Seattle Kraken, Alex Wenberg. On to pack number 15. Got a rookie of Arnaud Durando for the Islanders, and a silver script for the Florida Panthers of Matthew Tkachuk, and a base card of Marc-Andre Fleury with the Minnesota Wild. Pack number 16. Okay, it looks like we did get a bonus box hit. We've got a Stars of the Rink Gold for the Nashville Predators, Matt Duchene.
Nice.
On pack number 17. So we're down to the final layer of packs here. So let's see if we can muster up anything else. Got a rookie of Will Cooley for the Rangers, a silver script of Ryan Suter for the Dallas Stars. Number 18, got Stars of the Rink, Erik Karlsson, newest Pittsburgh Penguin. Obviously, we had talked about him earlier this summer during our Old Faces and New Places episode, and we now have our answer.
That's right. It'll be interesting to see how he does this upcoming season after his amazing year last year. We'll see if he can keep it up.
Yes. Pack number 19. We've got a silver script rookie for the Washington Capitals, Vincent Iorio, and down to our 20th and final pack. And we have got a Stars of the Rink, Patrice Bergeron.
Nice.
So nothing super big out of that box, unfortunately, but obviously MVP is, meant for newer collectors and kids in particular. So yeah, I think they did a really nice job with MVP this year. The inserts look really nice. Obviously you're getting a lot of stuff in the box, obviously just a lot of cards, but a lot of quote unquote hits, whether that just be the Ice Battles cards in every pack, and then, one insert per pack gives you a pretty nice little stack of cards there to enjoy. So yeah, always really fun to see the new MVP every year and chase those new rookies and see players on different teams and stuff. And yeah, so that was a lot of fun. And turning to 21-22 Stature, which just came out recently as well. And I have always really liked Stature ever since it first came out back in 1920 was the first year. Those who have been around since the beginning might remember that I opened a box on the show. And ever since that, I have just really, really enjoyed kind of what this product is. Yeah, I think it's a really great value product, and the cards are just absolutely gorgeous, especially in person. So for those who are not familiar, it's 8 cards per pack. There's just 1 pack per box, and you're guaranteed 1 autograph. And then you also get some numbered cards and a rookie card and an insert and stuff like that as well. So we shall see what we get. But I know you get 2 veteran base cards, a rookie, and then some of those parallels and inserts and an autograph. And you do have a chance at a patch. And we were not fortunate enough to get a patch. I think
That's all right.
they're pretty
That's
tough
always
to get.
fun though. They are pretty tough to get, but I mean, Stature in general is just so cool. I remember when you did that box break, and I think we both called that you would pull a nice Flurry card, and you did. It might have been like I think we called the correct parallel too. I think we were like, yeah, I think we're gonna get like a red Flurry card, and you did, and that was awesome. And then I had to pick one up after that to kind of go along with it. But so I'm calling again a Flurry card. I don't know if it'll be red, but I'm calling a Flurry card at some point will be in this box.
Well, I hope you're right. That would definitely be great, especially because he's pictured with the Blackhawks in this set.
Yes.
So obviously that would be great for me, and I hope you are correct. So our first card, we have a base for the Dallas Stars, Rupe Hintz. Again, these are just absolutely stunning cards in person. Really nice rainbow foil effect on them, and just a really clean, classy design. They look spectacular yet again. So that's our first card. Our second base for the Ottawa Senators, Tim Stützle. Very nice. On to our base rookie for the Nashville Predators, David Ferentz. That is numbered 86 out of 399. I'm going to go to the back since that's just the basic insert. We have a Gravitas for the Calgary Flames, Matthew Tkachuk. Really nice looking
Nice looking cards. Yeah, they are nice.
Yeah.
Good player to get too.
On to our parallels. First up, this one's upside down. We've got a green number out of 149. Good name for the Colorado Avalanche, Cale Makar.
Very nice. These cards just look awesome.
Yes. Upper Deck did a great job on these cards, as always. Next up, we have another green parallel, numbered 100 out of 149 for the Calgary Flames, Jerome Aginla.
Iggy, can't go wrong with that.
Next up, we have got one of the, I believe this is a design variant. I can't really keep track of all the variants because there are design variants, photo variants, and design photo variants.
That's
in the
interesting. It
in
sounds
the
like an
set.
OPG release.
I know. So it's kind of difficult to keep track of which is which. At the very least, I know this is a design variant because it has a different border. For the New Jersey Devils, number 59 out of 65 of Yegor Sharangovich. So the design variation has that black border going all the way around the card.
Okay.
But then there are
Interesting.
also photo variations of that as well. So yeah, kind of hard to keep track of that, but
So
oh well.
photo design variants.
And then for our hit, it is a red autograph of some sort. I can tell just by looking at the edge of the card. We've got a red rookie auto, number 24 out of 35 for the San Jose Sharks, William Eklund. So that's a pretty decent
Nice.
card there. Good name.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Very nice looking card.
absolutely. So yeah, just always fun to see this stuff. I mean, the cards are so beautiful. I mean, I know you guys can kind of tell from scans and pictures and stuff online, but when you're actually holding these cards yourselves, they are just absolutely beautiful, beautiful cards. So yeah, big shout out to Upper Deck for doing a really nice job on this product as always. And again, big shout out to Paul for being very generous and sending us both of these boxes. Obviously, really fun and exciting to share this stuff with you guys. And yeah, just really fun to see these cards. And yeah, so again, thank you, Paul. Really, really appreciate it. And yeah, I think that'll pretty much do it on my end. Is there anything else that you want to add, Aaron?
No, just another cool break. Very nice to see sort of the sort of polar ends of the spectrum. Maybe not total opposites, but going from MVP to Stature, definitely really cool products in their own sort of way. So that's yeah, always cool to see.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, this is a good example too of, you don't just have to open up the high end stuff. Stature is kind of almost like a mid end type of product. I think it's like 130 or 140 US per box, which is still a lot of money, but it's obviously not, Ultimate Collection or Premier or the Cup or anything like that. And then, you have MVP, kind of like what you said on the opposite end of the spectrum almost, where it's pretty much the cheapest product of the year. But as you guys saw, like there's a lot of really fun and cool stuff in the set. So yeah, just really cool to kind of see a little bit of, both ends there and be able to, enjoy them every bit as much as each other. So yeah, definitely fun to go through those. And again, Paul and Upper Deck, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. So obviously this is a little bit shorter of an episode than the last one. We know that last one was very long. So if you were willing to stick it out through that entire episode, we really appreciate that. But this is a little bit more of a normal length episode for us. So hopefully that's a welcome change of pace, returning to normal, so to speak. So, but yeah, that'll do it for this episode. So as always, please be sure to follow us on social media. We can be found on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Centerized Cardcast, and on Twitter at CICC. Please also be sure to subscribe to the show on your podcast platform of choice to make sure you never miss a future episode. Until next time on Centerized Cardcast, keep collecting those hockey cards.